Well, I'll be. A hitchhiker in an Easter bunny costume. Hop in. Where you headed?
BJ's Wholesale Club to do my Easter shopping. I have so many baskets to fill.
That costume is so lifelike. There's not even a zipper.
Oh, there's BJ's. I can hop out here.
Look at him go.
Get a $15 digital coupon when you spend $150 on practically anything in one transaction through April 20th. Coupon will appear in your digital gallery on April 24th. Terms apply. Go to bjs.com/Easter coupon for details. BJ's. Absurdly simple savings.
This is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
If you're wondering what's going on around here on today's episode, we are in the middle of a fan favorite series of reviews. All month long in April, we are reviewing movies suggested by you, our listeners, in our Facebook group. And today, we are discussing Her Pen Pal, which originally aired on Hallmark on June 19th, 2021. We mentioned our Facebook group. We'll talk more about it in a minute, but if you want to hang out with us, we would love for you to be our friend on Instagram, where we are Girls Gone Hallmark.
If you want to join our Facebook group, please do so. It's Girls Gone Hallmark in Facebook groups. This is where we mostly polled everybody for these movie suggestions for our April fan favorites. So if you want to get in the mix over there, come join us.
Yeah, I feel like that's where all of our besties are. Wendy made like an offhanded request for a volunteer to help us with something, and we got people who were like, I'll do it. So it just makes me happy, that little community over there. I love y'all so much. Speaking of how much I love y'all, we just recorded a listener mailbag episode that dropped last week, and I want to say those are quickly becoming my favorite episodes because it feels like the only chance we get on the podcast to bring in the community. Not the only chance, but the best way to have a conversation with our listeners.
Yeah.
So if you want to participate in a future listener mailbag episode, anything goes. Email us your thoughts on the movies you're watching, upcoming movies you've heard about, bonkers ideas you have for future Hallmark movies, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. And speaking of feedback, Wendy, you know, every episode I close with a request for a rating or a review, and they make me so happy. I have a new one.
Ooh.
I don't think you've seen this one. Maybe you have.
Think so. I'm scared.
Yeah, because I'm going to get on here and read a 1-star review.
Oh, well,
I mean, I might, but I would have sent it to you first and then talked some serious you know what.
Okay.
But this one's 5 stars. From Rosemary Designs, who says, I'm a longtime Hallmark fan, but not a podcast listener. Found Wendy and Megan's podcast when doing a deep dive online for the Way Home Hallmark series. Love their thoughtful and genuine conversations about series and movies I enjoy. I compare their podcast to a favorite book club where I read a book I adore and then listen to others share their excitement and dismay on characters, plot lines, and story endings. You have me as a listening fan.
Hey.
That's a great conversation, ladies. I'm here for all of it.
Welcome. Don't go too far back.
You know, but every once in a while I re-listen some of our early episodes. We were real haters.
I think me might have been the real hater.
Yeah, but I think we shared. Sometimes I just want to make those episodes disappear, but some of those early episodes are real popular, so I just can't do it.
Yeah,
so we've grown. I want to put a disclaimer on those.
I mean, it is what it is, and hopefully the listener won't be like, oh, I want to watch Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Sweater and see what Megan and Wendy thought about it, because we didn't like it.
It's on our list of movies we need to revisit. I will tell you that much.
Yes.
All right, let's hear a synopsis for Her Pen Pal.
Event planner Victoria can't wait to attend and plan her best friend's Paris wedding. But when she finds out that her ex is bringing a date, she reconnects with her French childhood pen pal.
Claire Niederprum directed the film and has 19 directing credits to her name. Her recent work includes The Royal We, along with Savoring Paris and An American in Austin.
Man, she's one of my faves.
Yeah.
Joa Botkin wrote the script for her pen pal. She has a total of 30 writing credits, including standouts like Savoring Paris, Branching Out, and 3 Bed, 2 Bath, 1 Ghost.
Mallory Jansen plays Victoria. We last saw Mallory in The Royal We and is known for her other Hallmark roles in Francesca Quinn P.I. and Paging Mr. Darcy.
Joshua Sasse plays Jacques. He's an English actor with a handful of acting credits. This was his first and only Hallmark role, but can also be seen in a Netflix movie called Love is in the Air from 2023.
Lachlan Naboer plays ex-boyfriend Cameron. Her pen pal is his last known project, but fun fact, he also appeared in one episode of Downton Abbey back in 2011.
Jane Weisner plays indecisive bride-to-be Tracy. Jane is an Irish-born actor who has 24 acting credits. However, this movie is her only Hallmark project.
Gregory Haney plays fiancé Mike. Though this is his only project for Hallmark, he's a working stage actor who has appeared in Hamilton, Wicked, and Bring It On, the musical.
I didn't know there was a Bring It On, the musical.
Neither did I.
I'm sure they do the, like, it's getting
I said
cold in here.
burr.
Yeah.
It's cold in here, which I say every single time I am cold.
I freaking love that movie. Amy Louise Pemberton plays expecting friend Natalie. She is another English actor who has also appeared in the 2023 Hallmark movie Pinch of Portugal.
So what I'm realizing is a lot of people are not using their real accents in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
John McDonald plays overprotective soon-to-be dad Seth. In addition to acting, he also does stunts and has doubled for John Krasinski in Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan and Ryan Reynolds in The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Amanda Blake plays work wife Jen. She has just 9 acting credits, but has also appeared in the 2022 movie The Presence of Love, which is in our April fan favorite lineup, coming soon.
Her pen pal was filmed in Bulgaria as well as on location in Paris, France. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back with our first impressions. Hey, Wendy, what is your first impression of Her pen pal?
Well, I had low expectations for a pen pal romance, but then they throw in a stone cold hottie. I'm in.
Well, both of our first impressions are about Joshua Sasse, but in different ways. Mine is, I truly can't believe our news and notes don't call out Joshua Sasse as the star of the CW Netflix one-season wonder No Tomorrow.
I don't know what that movie or show is.
I swear to God, I'm going to make a supercut of every single time this comes up, and every single time you say the same thing.
I really don't know what it is.
He's the guy who believes the end of the world is coming. And the love interest is another Hallmark actress. She's blonde. She's cute. She was in that Campfire Christmas movie. What is her name? Tori Anderson.
Tori Anderson. I can't remember who that is.
Just for Joshua Sasse alone, don't you think now you need to give that series a chance?
Sure.
You're never going to. It's so funny. It's so good. Ted McGinley's in it.
Okay.
The rest of the cast is like, they're great, but they're not names that, I'm telling you, it has become my life's work on this show to get people to watch that series.
What's it called again? No Tomorrow. No Tomorrow.
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right. I'll look for it. I will look for it. I'm kind of embarrassed that both of our first impressions are about him.
It is who we are.
I think so.
Let's talk about what we liked.
I have a handful of likes. I like this movie. Don't get me wrong. I actually did enjoy this movie. My biggest like though was the Parisian setting because I love Paris.
Sure.
And I love that they actually have like on location shots. Mm-hmm. Especially, I'm gonna totally butcher it, Montmartre.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this area of Paris that they went to, and as soon as they were on the steps of it, I was like, I know that place. Anyway, and then it led me to Google, like, was this actually shot on location? And it was. So yeah, I liked that part of it. Did you like any of the Paris stuff?
Yeah, I thought the settings were really gorgeous, down to that villa that they used. And that, of course, could have been in Bulgaria. It could have been Paris-like. But it just, yeah, I was like, I wouldn't get married at that. Why wouldn't you get married at the villa instead of a stuffy hotel ballroom anyway?
I couldn't understand that when they're like, this is where we're having the reception. I was like, in this ballroom in Paris?
Like,
what?
you might as well be at home. Like, there's nothing special about that location.
Yeah, that
other
was
than
so
that
bizarre.
it's in Paris.
Right.
So this movie was pure romance, and I typically prefer a little more calm in my rom. However, there's no denying that this really kind of is as sweet and romantic as they come. The Parisian setting really lends itself to that. Mallory Jansen's wardrobe, I think, is real romantic in its vibe, her sweet dresses. And even her hairstyling to me, like it's soft and it's curled and there's like little face framing tendrils, everything about it. I just feel like this movie is pure romance. It was part of the Summer Nights programming in June 2021. And Summer Nights is typically like wedding, romance. I think it's very on theme.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's funny you mentioned Mallory Jansen's wardrobe. I have a note about it as well in my likes as well as my did you see that's. But I did think she had some pretty chic outfits. I was into it. I was into it. Speaking of being into, I really enjoy Mallory Jansen. I thought her performance in this movie was really nice. She is becoming one of my favorite leads to watch, and she's not in a ton of Hallmark movies. So I think it makes it even more exciting when she is cast in something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would consider her, or actually, I would not consider her a comedian, but she did have like some funny moments in this movie, I thought. My favorite stuff is like when she was with her friends, like all of that kind of dialogue felt very natural, like very natural dialogue friends would have with each other. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they were like poking fun at each other and giving each other a hard time. I thought,
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
it's okay. I thought it was very relatable and enjoyable.
Well, speaking of the friends, leave it to Joie Botkin because I love the friendships that are depicted in this movie. I think they're the standout relationship in this movie. Relationships. I think they're all going through something in their personal relationships, and they're all normal and relatable. You've got Victoria, who's dealing with the end of her relationship. It's presented as she misses him, but I think it's more that she's just trying to like figure out life without him. Because they were together for so long and she had all these ideas about what her future looked like. You know, he's absolutely not the right guy for her. Tracy is wondering if she can trust herself the one time in her life she's actually being decisive about something. And then you have Natalie, who's like dealing with the transition to becoming a mom, but she's got this husband who's like transitioned so far into super dad mode and has completely forgotten how to be her husband. And I really liked the way that they all supported each other. And there's a scene when they're at the villa where it all kind of comes together, and Natalie's tears of frustration when she's talking about what's going on with her and Seth felt so real. It's the best acting in the entire movie.
Look at you. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen a lot more Hallmark movies than I have. Are there other pen pal to lovers movies?
I don't know. That's a question for the listeners. Girls Gone Hallmark at gmail.com. You know, I have the memory of a goldfish. Even if I had seen them all, I wouldn't remember.
Yeah. Well, I kind of liked this story, the storyline of like reconnecting pen pals and falling in love as adults. Like I mean, think about like writing letters to somebody, especially at like a tender teenage age, right? Like you might be vulnerable in those kind of letters, especially with someone who like you're like, I'm never gonna see this person, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of love that they maybe got to share who their authentic selves were. And then
did you ever have like a boy that you wrote letters to that like didn't go to your school in your high school years? No.
You? Really? Where was
Like
he?
someone I met in the summer.
Oh, I did actually. It wasn't like a pen pal situation though, but I spent a summer in Indiana and met some few people there. And I think I did write some letters, but not anything like, you know, not romantic letters.
Yeah, I'm not sure that these were there was maybe like a flirty vibe to them, but they weren't they were not love letters for sure. No,
Were they sprayed with perfume and sealed with a kiss?
they were not. The thing about that is like they're going to their parents' home.
God.
It's real embarrassing now that I think about it.
Totally.
At least our kids have phones. They can send that shit and delete it.
Totally. That's so funny. Anyway, but I did like this kind of pen pal storyline. And the Joshua Sasse, like, fine as hell. Like, as soon as he was up, I was like, yeah, that ex-boyfriend. Nope. The clear answer is shock.
1,000%. And I'm not a super, as mentioned, like romance on its own. I need the comedy to like make that sort of, that would be my preference, right? But it was so sweet when he starts quoting Sabrina back to her.
Yeah.
After her stupid ex-boyfriend had no idea what she was talking about. I was like, oh, that's real nice. He's paying attention.
Yeah, no, I like that too. But I also like that he could see that the ex-boyfriend was a real dummy and like leaned into making him feel jealous.
Yeah.
So I was super into that.
Uh-huh.
That's all I got for likes.
Let's talk wishes.
Okay.
I want to talk Victoria and Cameron's kiss.
Okay.
I have a lot of thoughts about it. One, I thought it lasted a really long time for a kiss that Victoria was obviously conflicted about. Two, I thought it was kind of gross to sneak attack kiss your ex-girlfriend who clearly has something new brewing. You are on this trip with somebody else. You two are not together. It feels like a violation. Like it was not a welcome kiss that I did not appreciate. And I really wanted Victoria to immediately stop it, for her to like put her hand on his chest and push him away. It just goes on for so long. And I know that it needs to go on for so long because we need Jacques to catch them and get the wrong idea about the whole situation. But I didn't like it.
That's so funny. It didn't really bother me that much. But other than
He only wants you back because the hot French dude is there.
yeah, no, 100% because he was feeling jealous. But also like, yeah, it's super gross that like, oh, now you're feeling like you have to win this chick back and you're going to sneak attack her. Yeah,
Well, and you're not entitled to kiss me just because you want to. We are not in a relationship anymore. You need to go back to step 0 now.
Have to start quoting Sabrina to win me over. Yes. Yeah, I mean, he has to do the work for sure.
Consent has been rescinded, my good sir.
Yes. I found this movie a little bit slow in some spots. It didn't make me tune out, which sometimes they do. It didn't make me tune out, but the whole like revamping of Tracy's wedding, like that kind of storyline kept me interested. You know, it's like a party planning scene. I like it. I like that.
It 100% is in my notes that I thought this movie was romantic and pretty, but also a little slow. I was a little frustrated with Tracy for her inability to stand up for herself.
My God. Yes.
Even her groom seems resigned when he's like, well, I got dressed just in case you decided to go through with it. I was like, come on. Like, own your own life, please. I am begging you.
Well, so that's funny. Like, I was frustrated with her as well, but I also felt bad for her because she was like clearly in crisis mode over this wedding. And Victoria, who is her best friend and wedding planner, was totally blind to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not a very observant friend or wedding planner in these moments where she's like, Tracy is indecisive.
No, Victoria was planning her vision of the perfect wedding, not Tracy's vision of the perfect wedding.
Exactly. But like, maybe that's why she was blind to it. Like, she wasn't seeing that Tracy was struggling.
Yes. But I felt like Tracy was not doing, Tracy was just so unsure of herself. She couldn't just be like, hey, this isn't the wedding I want.
Yeah. Like, how do you get to Paris and be like,
they were just
this is not the wedding I want?
Yeah, they were just not connecting. She just felt like she wasn't good at making decisions, so she was going to let other people make decisions for her. But the decisions that they were making for her were not in line with what she wanted.
Yeah, it's super frustrating.
Any other wishes?
No, that's it.
Let's talk. Did you see that?
I have just one.
Okay.
And it has to do with Mallory Jansen's wardrobe. I had noticed that she was in like these flat, unsupportive like sandals the entire time. One time she was in like a white tennis shoe, But most of the time, they were like these like flat sandals. And it made me think. I was like, one, are they trying to manage her height? Because I think she's pretty tall. But I'm like, are they trying to manage her height with her co-star? And that's why they have her in these like super flat sandals. Or, because it's like summertime in Paris, you would wear cute sandals. I don't know. But I could never be on my feet as much as she was in these terrible flat sandals because I'm 100 years old I need some
You need some
orthopedics.
support.
Yeah. I just was like, I can't believe she's walking around in these like Sam Elderman flat sandals. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do, 100%. 100%. Mike, did you see that? Is when they're setting up at the villa, it's like 2 days before the wedding. They comment about it at one point and they set the table. Like Victoria and Jen have their conversation with each other where they're both like, yeah, this guy sucks. He's not the guy for either of us. They're putting plates on the table. You don't put plates on the table even the day before the wedding. Like the plates go on the table immediately before you eat. They're going to be covered in dust and bugs.
Yeah.
And no, that's all.
Okay.
You set the table too early, people.
Too early.
Especially for an outside wedding.
Oh, that's funny. You're right. Okay, would you rate this one?
I gave it 3.75 stars.
Oh, I gave it 3 stars.
Oh.
It's not a bad rating. I just thought it was like perfectly fine.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. Thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. If you love this podcast, we love your 5-star ratings and reviews, and you might just hear yours read just like Rosemary's was earlier in this episode if you leave us a review in the Apple Podcast app. We'll be back next time with more fan favorite movies. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.